Yes. Well, should I say good morning and praise the Lord, and good afternoon or good everything? We thank God for this moment. I think I have only few hours to speak, so I will not exceed 3 hours. I'll keep it short.
Yeah, in the fall we say that they prepare the room for me. They please I'm prepared for you. As I'm going, you can stay here.
Amen. Well, I praise the Lord for being here. Yeah, my name, as you have heard, Amos Musembi. I come from Kenya. I was born, raised, married, and got my first kids while I was still in Kenya. And I thank God because of His grace upon my life. God has been so gracious to me. And I can say what I'm sharing, when you look at me, it is the story of God's grace. For me, it is a story of God's grace. I was born to two people that are Kenyans and Kamba by ethnic group in Kenya. I think my ethnic tribe, possibly it might be maybe the fourth or fifth largest in Kenya. My mother was married to my dad, who was a game warden during colonial era when Kenya was still in colonized by British. And so that is the time that I was maybe born. I'm saying maybe because I was not there. I was only told. And then and I believed that to this very day. So as I was growing, my mother, as I tried to understand the things, I found that there was nobody around to call dad. So in other words, even if my dad was to appear here, I can't tell you how he looked like, because he died before I understood anything. So my mother was left alone. And my mother had no education. She had not stepped inside a class, I don't think so, because I found she was not able to write her name when I grew. So at that time, after my dad died, my dad had moved to different places, watching wildlife and all that, and he acquired some things in different places. But after he died, all those things were taken by people. They were taken. My mother had nobody to defend her. My uncles did not defend my mother, and so as she was struggling to raise her kids, a time came and she had to leave home, a matrimonial home, to go to the city to look for something to help raise her kids. And that is where I found myself. When my eyes opened, I was able to understand I'm a human being. Then I found ourselves living in the city. And we lived there. My mother struggled. I can tell you my mother really struggled. Because she did not have enough to give to us. She went and worked in a farm, as well as also supplementing by selling illicit liquor, brew that was not allowed. And so as a result, as I was growing up, when I was in kindergarten, elementary, most of the time my mother would be arrested and go and be jailed, and we have nobody. We were living in a rented place. So my mother has been arrested, and we have been left there. The rent is not paid. So guess what? We were out on the street, on the cold, and no food. And I can tell you, I'm not ashamed when I give my testimony, because this is the reality, me. I can't tell you how many times we ate food from the dust bin. The rotten food that has been thrown out there. I have eaten. I've gone and taken bread with mold, and I try to remove where the mold is, and where there is peace, there is no mold. I eat that one.
Is that McDonald's?
It is. Although I can't eat it right now, but it was tasty. It was testing. Yeah, so, and the lifestyle was that way. Sometimes you pour some of the beans that are rotten and you pour out there. I go and find when they are dry, the sun has dried them, they become nutritious again and they become the meal of the day. And that is how it was, the story of my, that time. We lived in a city and the situation was that. So as I grew a little bit, I started asking some questions. Mom, don't we have a place we can call home? Why is it that some people, sometimes the schools are closed and we have gone home, a place people are not renting, a place where there is a farm? And I started asking all those questions and so on. And then I also started seeing some people visiting us, and my mother introduces, this is your dad, this is my brother, and so I started wondering, who are these really? So I came to find they are my uncles. They are brothers to my dad, and others are brothers to my mom. They used to come and visit, because incidentally, my mother was loved by her brothers, and my uncles later, I don't know, they are before me, but so they were coming to visit, they started coming to visit in the city. So eventually, I was shown a place where we were calling home, where my grandma was, the mother to my dad. And after some time I said, well, I want to go and live with my grandma. And so I left the city, life of the city. But when I was in the city, I was also involved in other things, getting into gangs. For one, I have grown obeying the rules. Every place I was, I don't remember, I try to remember, have I seen my mom spanking me? I don't remember. I don't remember a time my mother really spanked me. I don't remember any time. I saw her spanking my elder sister and my brother, but I have never seen. And the reason is, because if she told me, Musembi, can you go and bring me a spoon? I said, yes, mom, which one? And I went. I was that way. A neighbor passing and needs help, I was there. And so I grew that way. But outside, I joined some gangs because that was the order of the city. A gang, one of them was very brutal. But then, there's one thing that Mom did which was very special to this very day. Mom forced, not requested, forced us to go to Sunday school. It was a must. I would wake up, even in the city, I would wake up and say, Mom, because it was, quite a distance away, maybe 30 minutes to an hour trek, going to the nearest place where there is Sunday school. And I would wake up sometimes, Mom, my hair, Mom, my hair. And my mother will come and touch it and say, okay, let me touch a little bit. Now it is well, you can go. And then I say, Mom doesn't understand. Okay. Another time, my leg, Mom, my leg is paining. And he said, my son, just walk slowly, you will find yourself there. So I gave all the excuses all the time until none of them worked for years. Until I said, okay, no matter what excuse, my mother will still make me go. So I may as well accept this as my lifestyle. So I never missed a Sunday school. In fact, in third grade, I joined the church choir. In third grade. So I was blessed with, with where the ladies were, because that was my pinch voice. But then, that became my lifestyle. I loved the church. I just make it my lifestyle, and I grew that way. Until when I came, I went to high school. And then in high school, I joined Christian Union. In Kenyan system, there are, in every school, high school, there are some clubs. We call them clubs. You find there is debating club, there is a boxing club, there is a Christian Union club, there is all those kinds. So because I am used to religious things, I joined Christian Union. And then they organize rallies whereby they invite other Christian unions from other schools, to come and have a time together. So I joined that, and I was there. One time, we went for a rally in another school. And this was a girls' school. And in a rally there, I had something in mind. As we go there, I will look for a girlfriend. So going there was not going really I'm going for a rally, but at the back of my mind, it's time to get a girlfriend. Because I'm coming from a better school than the one we are going, so it will be easy. And so we go there, and while we are there, I went into a tap to ask for water. And I stayed there, and the rally is going on. Because I'm waiting for the girls that will go there, so I'm making a pick and choose. But then for us, after some time, I decided, well, I may as well go inside the hall so that all the other people will not think we came for a rally. The school gave us a school bus, and I have not entered inside. When I went the right time, the gospel was being really preached. The gospel was being preached. Before long, as we finished, before the end, by the time the preacher was finishing, I found myself in front to receive Jesus. I don't know how I went there, but I found myself there. Much as I have grown in the church, did all the singing, I was there to receive Christ because I found I was going to the church, doing all these religious things, but I had never encountered Christ as a personal savior myself. There is not a time I remembered I ever did that. And this was an opportunity. Instead of living with a girlfriend there, I left being a girlfriend. You get that language? Yeah. So I left there being a girlfriend of Christ. The bride for Christ, instead of me living with a girlfriend. Things turned around. And from there, life changed. I changed my lifestyle by the grace of God. God helped me. And then I grew that way. So I entered into another phase of being mocked. You have received this person called Christ. Now we'll see what will happen of you and all that. I was given ultimatums. Wait until you get out of school and you are going to look for a job, because we were living in an era of extreme bribery for you to get anything in Kenya. Extreme. You had to bribe almost to even to be able to breathe. Yeah? Even the breathing was almost becoming, you have to bribe to be allowed to breathe good, fresh air. That's how Kenya was. It was so bad. But here, I have gotten saved, and it is known, if you are saved, you don't bribe. So I started being told, how are you going to get a job? We will see. And then you are not, when you are saved in Kenya, you can't marry any other way other than through a wedding. Okay, we will see even when it comes to a wedding, how you will get a wife and how you will make to put all these bills. But there is something that always in me was there strong. There is somebody I have accepted. He tells me he's able. I made effort to study the Bible. I studied any pamphlet that I saw mentioning Christ because I could not afford the Bible. In fact, I joined a correspondence, a free correspondence, so that I can finish and get a Bible. I joined, and after 2 years, I managed to pass every test, and I was given a New Testament, in today's English fashion, a small pocket one. I was planning to memorize the Bible completely from Genesis. So any small pamphlet I got, I was memorizing because I don't know when I can get another one. But the worst thing that happened is somebody stole that New Testament. I felt, the world has come down. I wrote to them again, can you please send, the one you sent, it has gone. They never responded. I tried to plead. Do I join again to get another one? And I shake that way. You may not know Years later, when one time I got a Bible, I don't know, I think King James, you may not know the joy I had. Finally, I have a Bible on my own, a full Bible. And I grew that way. Let me tell you, the Lord saw me through this. I left school, went to the city. My uncle, my brother, my mom's brother, took me to the city where he was working. And when we were there, I went to a place and looked for a job. I got a casual labor working in a bread making company. And I worked there for some time. A neighbor at home came to visit his sister there. And it happened that the husband to the sister was sick and admitted in the hospital. And he told, can we go and visit my brother-in-law? I didn't know them. They said, sure. God gave me favor with that person. God gave me favor. That person came out of hospital. This brother-in-law is looking for a job. And this man is working in a good company, automobile assembly plant, the largest in Kenya. When he came out of hospital, he wanted to see me. Through him, to just cut a long story short, through him, I got a job because he introduced me and I applied. We applied with the brother-in-law and I got the job. Now the brother-in-law started and the wife started complaining. You helped another person and not my brother-in-law. Things worked that way. But God was involved in my story. As time came and I had to leave that place. And when I was leaving, I went to administration to request to be laid off so that I can get a little bit, when the Lord called me into the ministry. I'm just cutting that way because of time. But let me tell you, the Lord did not allow them to give me anything. It happened that I was laid off, I was left, people volunteered to leave. That time I was not ready. But after everything and the company has settled with, and we have been called and be told, now we have the actual number of people that we need. So relax, everybody. Now the Lord told me, I need you now. And I said, no, this has passed. This has passed. I would have gone with something. I need you now. So I tried to work out with them. Can you please lay me off so that I can get something? They said, no, we need you. Please just lay me off. I went to my boss. Can you declare me redundant so that I can get them? He said, no. Then eventually I went to the secretary of the company. And I told him, now that you don't want to help me, I have served this company for 9 years, faithfully. I'm going to walk out of the gate of this company, lifting up my hands and telling the Lord, after 9 faithful years of this company, Lord, I'm walking out with empty hands. Please fill them. And I smiled to him and told him goodbye. And I walked away. I didn't know what to do. I have been admitted to college. I have my son who has gone to high school. We are paying heavy fees. I don't know where to get money from, but the Lord has been faithful, was faithful. That very moment, God sent somebody, and somebody brought a check. I don't know how it worked out, a check. I saw a check say, well, this check is money that we want you to enjoy this, and we are going to pay for your college. It came the right time to take my son to school, and provision continued. Well, after I graduated from college, to cut the story short, in fact, it was when I went to college that I eventually cleared my high school fees more than 10 years later. I have a record, very known in Kenya, in the school where I passed. I have a record that I never, other than the time I went to college, I have never studied a whole semester without being chased home. I was sent home because of school fees all the time, from kindergarten, elementary, because we were still paying, high school, we were still paying public, there was nothing free, and I have a record. And after the high school, I never was able to clear. So I was not given my certificates after finishing my high school because I have not cleared school fees. But I had to clear when I got admitted to college. So more than 10 years. Because when I got a job, the question was, do I help my siblings also to gain something, or do I start giving money to the school? At least I completed. They can keep the certificate. One time I will get. But my siblings need also something also that they can earn on to. And that is what delayed. Well, God eventually helped me to clear. I went through Bible school, became a pastor, and God sent me in a very remote area, whereby the whole offerings for a whole month was not able to pay my house rent. The givings of the church, the whole month, and I'm full-time, because I resigned from my secular job. I'm full-time, all the givings of the church, a whole month they can't pay the house rent. Mention and talk about living by faith. Yeah. We lived by faith. And I rented, in addition to my house, I rented a small office because I was pastoring far from home, where I was using 2 public transportation for me to reach the church where I was pastoring. So you can imagine the church is not able to pay either of those. And I have no sponsorship. But every time, I never missed one time, God provided. I would go and open my office and hear something strolling on the door, only to find somebody came and slipped an envelope there, and it's written, God bless you. And I open, I find it is enough money to pay the rent for that time. And I never told the church I don't have any. In fact, some people were, I remember one church member asking me to rent her money to buy a piece of property where she was living, and then she will refund later. She doesn't know, even that time, I don't know what my family will eat that single day. I remember another lady asking me for my bank account to help her go to the embassy to get a visa to go to Sweden. She doesn't know that I'm believing God for the milk of my son that day even. But nobody ever knew. Only God knew. And God was faithful. Dear ones, it is from that place. It is from that place where God gave us a green card even to come to the America. We did not know what green card is. I didn't know what is that. I had never heard about that. My wife had never heard that one. In fact, the first person who mentioned and brought a form to us, we asked, what is this? When I saw green, the first thing, I told my wife, there is nobody who is going to recruit my family to devil worshipping. Devil, you are defeated in Jesus' name. I saw those papers and threw. Because I thought, anything associated green, I thought it's green movement, it's underground, something. And the same person who gave the papers again, it is interesting that that person kept a paper for us. Getting that form in Kenya is not easy. And here is somebody who is bringing, hey, do you want? In fact, the second time I took a pot, an odd one, and I measured with a ruler, with a piece of ruler, and cut and plastered there. When it came, we have won. I said, so they thought they got us. I threw them somewhere and hid them until we were almost late when we had somewhere. Dear ones, cutting the story short, the Lord gave us an opportunity. We came here to the U.S. And here in U.S., we were hosted by a family in Northern California, white brethren from here. They hosted us. But then, we had made a mistake. When we were confirming our coming, we wrote dates the way we write them in Kenya. So here, they are waiting for us, December, and we are writing we are coming in July. So confusion. So here they are planned for a business trip before we come. And so it was a confusion. So we come, and the following day we are asked a question, are you renting an apartment or what? And even the money we have cannot pay apartment 1 month. God come. God come. And we even don't know how to make calls. I went to a box. You know, when you have short time to give a life story, you don't know what to do. But I'm telling you, to learn even to make a call here. In Kenya, you have an operator, live person. You go and dial. An operator, can you give me this number, and you talk. Here, I went and read, you know, put a quarter. I put quarter, and then I dial the number. And then I hear, I am sorry, but you must first of all dial 1 before dialing this number and say, hold on, operator, please, let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? And then it repeats again. I'm sorry, but you must first of all, please, let me ask you a question first. Let me ask you a question. And then continue. I get frustrated, I go again. You know, I tried that way. It took long before we knew that. But God was faithful. Let me tell you a walk here. Just, I wrap up. You want me to take a few minutes and wrap up? Because I'm skipping that way because of the time. But brethren, here we stayed in a place very far, 1 hour away from the city, inside the woods. And there we don't have a car, and we have to find how to get out. We decided, God, you have to come and help us here. Because even our coming, if I was to tell you how we got a plane to come, how we got the ticket and all that, for things we didn't know, nobody educated us, but God was coming every single time we needed him. Now we are here in US. We are in a far place. We don't know what to do. Nobody is actually telling us anything. Nobody is educating us on anything. And we have to find a way. So I say, God, I'm the head of this family. I have to take it out of this mess. Where do we start? Right now, in that bush, somebody called from the woods, a neighbor, but from maybe 20 minutes away or 30 minutes away, called there and said, I heard about you people. Are you, as she timed, they timed when they knew these people, the owners of the house are not there, so they intentionally called. We don't know them. But they called. Hey, are you the people that came from Africa? He said, yes. We have a fellowship in our house. Can you come? I said, where? Where are we? First of all, where are you? Where is that fellowship? We don't know where we are. He said, we can make arrangements and bring you. I said, okay, if you make arrangement, we can come. It is in that place where we went in fellowship. It's only my family that is black. Only my family. And then in that fellowship, after the fellowship, we started asking questions. Tell us, is there a way somebody without a car can reach the nearest city from here? He said, yes, there's a car, there's a bus that comes from another city from there, and it passes only once in the morning and in the evening back until the next day. We said, what is the name? It's called Stench. What time does it come? Said, yeah. So we decided with my wife, we are going to wait for that car. So I wrote a placard, a big paper, and we went to on the road. Remember, we are the only black people in that area. And yeah, with my wife, I told my children, let's pray and believe God. Remain here, be safe. We have to find a way to be out of these woods. So we went on the road and we heard a sign, Stench, please stop. We are holding it with my wife because we don't know how it looks. And after some time, people were coming here. Who are these people? First of all, they are black. Again, they are protesting. What are they protesting against? Yeah. What happened? So people would come there slowly to look and they go. Eventually, we saw the stage pass, but we recognized the stage when it was passing us here because we didn't know. But the driver had also read. So he went and stopped very far. And he started coming back and we ran. And then we asked him a questions first of all. Okay, you are going to the nearest city? Yes. How much is going there? This much. Okay. Can you promise that you are going to come back? Yes. What time are you going to come back? Yes. Can you promise you will not leave us in the city if you carry us? The bus was stopped until we negotiate to make sure I'm safe. We negotiated, okay, how much money to go and come back? This much. Okay, here it is. And I'm paying going and coming back at once because you can't leave us, okay? Let's go now. My wife, let's go and sit. And we went and we started moving in the city. And it was summer. We are sweating. We can't get into any hotel to eat because we don't have that money here in California, Northern California. The story short, we go to one grocery store, and the Lord leads us to a specific one, and then we apply. We were given papers to apply. The Lord told us something that was unique. After application, as we walk out, the Lord tells us we need to see the manager. And so we came back. Where is the manager? The manager, we were told he is in the office, but can we talk to him? No. Regarding what? Regarding the job. We will give him these paper forms. No, can we talk? Is it okay to talk to him? Yes. So we were taken to his office. Then we went and straight away and told him, look here, we are new here and we need job. I have to feed my family. So you have to give me a job. He said, okay, give one of us a job. Okay, we need to feed the family. And said, okay, so do you want to work? Yes. And story short, he gave me the job. He told me to start on Monday. It was on Friday. Now the question was, we are 1 hour away. How are we going to be coming here? And I've said we'll come. We went back to our stage, it took us back. And then we had fasted. We were fasting and praying for God to come to our rescue and to our help. So when we are there on Saturday, somebody makes a call there. Hey, are you the person we hear you came from? You are from Africa? I said yes. Are you not a pastor? I said yes, I'm a pastor. Do you want to come and preach to my church? In my church? I said, well, where? Yes, I have no problem preaching, but where are you calling from? Where is your church? We have no way we can reach there. I don't know where we are and how we can reach there. He said, well, if you are willing, I can send a driver to come and get you. He said, okay, that's fine. I will come and preach if you are going to send a driver. Then say,